Today we've got not one, but two game-changing additions to the Quest platform. First, we're going to check out the AR Passthrough and some of the games that are already compatible or going to be compatible with the Passthrough mode, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Second, we're checking out a brand new surprise social platform that Oculus just launched that's free called Horizon Workrooms. Sounds like it's just for productivity, and while it works amazing for productivity, it actually is a really cool place to jump into and hang out with friends. I spent an hour in it yesterday with Virtual Reality Oasis, Gamertag VR, and Tyrael, and it was just a total blast hanging out. The social interactions are just really cool. So we're going to check that out today as well. Both of these are things that could completely change up the platform and add a massive amount of value to what we already have. Let's jump in and check out AR first, right now on the Quest 2. First up, let's talk about AR on the Quest 2. Now, this is actually more exciting than I expected it to be. I was not really sold on the idea of AR until I actually tried it. I've tried 3 different experiences so far, 2 of which you can get right on SideQuest for free. One of them is Crazy Kung Fu, and as you're seeing on screen right now, it is taking the Crazy Kung Fu game and just transitioning it over to your actual physical room. This one was actually pretty cool. Actually seeing the environment around you and then seeing elements in that was a lot better than I expected it to be, and it works a lot better than I expected it to work. Now, it would be way better if we had high-res color pass-through cameras, which will come eventually, I'm sure, in a future iteration of the Quest, but this does show how game-changing that this new AR function could really be. One of the experiences that I tried that really blew my mind was Cubism. The developer sent over a build with the pass-through mode enabled, and it was actually very relaxing to just stand there in my own space solving these puzzles. For whatever reason, it actually allowed me to solve these puzzles a little bit easier. Usually it kind of takes me a bit to wrap my brain around the shapes and the directions I need to go. I actually did fairly well in these couple of levels, even if they were easy levels. Even though the Quest 2 is never going to be a full-on AR device due to the lack of quality in the pass-through cameras, I think that this proves that we very well could see a hybrid device in many, many ways. Imagine being able to map out a portion of your home and play a horror game in it where you're walking through with a flashlight, waiting for something to scare the crap out of you in your own home. There's a lot of potential for AR, and the fact that we now have it on the Quest is just insane. Before we talk about the next game-changing aspect that's just launched for the Quest in Horizon Workrooms, let's jump over and I want to show you a quick experience, the AR demo, and I just want to show you what it does and why it makes me so excited. Alright, here we are inside of AR demo. This is the pass-through demo on SideQuest that you can grab. This is a really cool way just to illustrate a little bit of what's possible in AR. This allows us to be able to do some cool stuff, like paint some stuff to be able to open up this window. See, you can, looks like you're in like a space. You can kind of open up a little window here and look through it. It's pretty cool, actually. You can open up down here. There's a cat down here somewhere. Where did my cat go? Right there. There he is. Hey, Lytton. Hey, Lytton. And then this is my other favorite one. There's Lytton again. This is the flashlight one. This is pretty cool. Now you're seeing behind the scenes. You've never seen this before. This is behind the scenes of my dungeon basement filming room. There's my camera there and my lights. But this is one of my favorite ones. Imagine playing a horror game with this, where your house is darkened and you have to look around the room and walk through your house. That would be pretty freaking cool. This one just allows you to move it around. Change the shadow type, so you can change it from up high or even down on the floor. That's pretty immersive and cool. So you can kind of place this where you want it. So it either can have a shadow right below it, or you can have a shadow on there, which is pretty cool. This, I'm not really sure what this does. Thumbstick to dolly, release script to resume, surface projected effect. I'm not really sure what this does exactly. Oh, it's just for a surface, I guess, maybe? I don't know what that does. Oh, maybe it changes color? Oop. Yeah, you can do that too. You can grab blocks. I forgot. Trigger to grab. So let me just grab this. And then... you can change all this. Yep, there we go. Ooh, look at that. That's weird looking. Let's bring the contrast down. Colorize. Whoa.
Well, you can make it really black, or you can make it white, or you can make it colorized. See, this is pretty crazy here. Let's make anything. Oh, this. Okay, that allows you to keep it the same, like original. I gotcha. Okay, but then I'd have to grab this. Look at that, it's purple and it has a flashlight going. What if I grab the flashlight? I can only grab it with one hand. I forgot. Let's grab this thing. Wow, that's weird. Look at the purpleness. I feel like I'm in like an igloo, working my way out of an igloo here. That's weird.
All right, so now let's talk about Horizon Workrooms. Now, this is actually, for me, a groundbreaking productivity tool. I've used pretty much every other tool out there. Every other social platform I've dabbled with at least some, and I posted on Twitter how much I really liked Workrooms. I spent an hour, if not a little bit more, overall inside of this with Gamertag VR, Mike from VR Oasis, and Tyrael, and it was some of the most human-like interaction I've ever had in virtual reality. Now, this is meant, obviously, for a workplace type of software, but it doesn't mean you couldn't meet friends in it and hang out. That's exactly what we did. In fact, we played Pictionary. We were going to play Hangman until that just kind of flew out the window. Let's see, what else did we do? We played Tic-Tac-Toe on the whiteboard. Speaking of the whiteboard, I'm going to go into that in just a second, but that's one of my favorite parts about this actual software. Being inside of this environment actually felt like going to a meeting, except for in VR. The options in this to actually have meetings, whether you're changing the layout of the room to be presentation style, conversation style, or sharing your computer screen because you've connected it through remote desktop, which you don't need to do, by the way. If you want to just go in and meet in the room, you don't actually have to have remote desktop enabled. You can, and it works really cool, especially if you have the compatible Logitech keyboard, but you don't have to have that either, as there is a pass-through mode that looks at your desk. Once you set your desk up, and it'll actually show you the keyboard inside of Passthrough, so you don't have to worry about actually having a compatible keyboard if you don't want. So what makes this so groundbreaking and insane? Number one, for productivity, I think it's going to be incredible. To be able to go and meet in a place like this, have presentations, but have it be so seamless and easy to use. Now, the setup, I will say, is not seamless and easy to use. There are some issues with the setup, as far as it's just not super easy. There's some hiccups you can run into, and I ran into a few. I know that several other people ran into a few as well, and there's some weird stuff going on with the organizations having to join and move around organizations. But if they can iron that out, then this is going to be an amazing tool, both for people just wanting to meet up in VR and hang out and chat, and for people that want to use this for actually meeting for productivity purposes. Talking with the creators in the room yesterday, I'm actually excited for them to transition this over to something that is more home-based, having your own home and inviting friends over. The interactions that you can have in this environment, the avatars are actually better than I thought too, surprisingly. These are the avatars, the new Oculus avatars that you can create currently and use in stuff like ProPut, and they actually are very emotive. So when you're talking with someone and their hands are moving and their face is moving and the mouth is moving according to what they're saying, it actually feels like you're talking with a real person. And the fact that hand tracking is what you use in this program, or you can use controllers, but hand tracking is designed for this, and it works really well most of the time. It's got some weird stuff going on if they go out of your field of view, but for the most part, it works really well. I think that it feels like you're talking to real people. I feel like I spent an hour with some friends hanging out in an office yesterday, which actually blew my mind as I was thinking about it after it happened. One of the most revolutionary things is probably one of the most simple things, and that is just the way that they have you using your pen in VR, or should I say a whiteboard marker. What you actually do is you take your controller and you flip it over and you use the tip of your controller like a marker. And I'm going to show you all this in just a minute because I'm going to show you some actual gameplay inside of this and kind of introduce you to how things work and what's going on with it. But overall, I was thoroughly impressed, and it actually made me kind of excited for what could be coming if we get some social stuff from Horizon. Not necessarily the Horizon that everyone's waiting to get into, because I have used that and that felt different than this. For whatever reason, the interactions aren't bad in that, but it felt much less finished. This felt like something that was designed to work the way it was supposed to. And if they can come up with even just a home environment that is this you can invite people over to, or just not necessarily a home environment, but a home that you can go over to, Horizon Home or something that you can invite people over to just like this, and you can play card games, board games, hang out on a couch, whatever it is. This could be really, really cool because I love the way the interactions work in this. Audio is exceptional. For whatever reason, it sounds even better than any other game. It just sounds like they're in the room with you. Spatial audio, though, is really cool, too. I know it's used in a lot of games, but it works really well in an environment like this. So if you're sitting next to someone at the desk, then they'll actually sound like they're next to you instead of being just generally in the room. It's a simple thing a lot of things implement, but something I think that works really well for an environment like this to make it feel even more realistic. Now, I'm going to stop talking right here, and we're going to actually jump into it right now. I'm going to show you exactly how it works from inside of the software. All right, here we are inside of the main home environment for Workrooms. This is the single player, if you will, or the private environment where you can do work by yourself. This is where you start off. This is kind of what you've got here. You can go to today and it'll say if you've got any meetings, you can set up meetings. There's a whole meeting system that integrates with Google Calendar and with Outlook. You can go to your rooms. These are the rooms that have been created. Normally you'd go to your PC here, and I have it. I just don't have it connected because I don't have my keyboard in front of me. What you do is you actually hit connect. It'll say to hit enter on your keyboard, and your keyboard, if you've got the Bluetooth one, will show up right here. I'll show you, though. You can turn the pass-through mode on. I wouldn't put a keyboard here, though, because there's nothing here. This is just space. I set up my desk in a random spot so that I could actually do this, because it makes you set up a desk before you start. So you can either set it up like this so that it's not actually there, or if you have an actual desk, then you can actually put the desk. You scan your desk with your controller across, set the height of it, and it actually works really well. It felt like it was just really spot on when I used it yesterday. There's some other settings you can go in and change. You got the avatar settings you can change. You can go to desk here. You can reset your desk, and it's looking for my Logitech K830 right now, but you can actually change it. You can do keyboard isn't listed, which just means it won't let you do it. You'll use pass-through mode, but it actually also supports the Magic Keyboard and the MacBook Pro if you want to use those. The Logitech K830 is what I have, and it works really well. So let's go ahead and go into one of these rooms, because that's where the real magic happens and a lot of the cool stuff happens. So let's go ahead and we'll go to the VR Creators Meetup. All right, so here we are inside of the workroom, and you can see the environment. There is a deer over there with a Quest 2 on, which is pretty cool. The environment outside is pretty cool. You've got some movement for some of the smoke over there. There's not a lot of movement outside. Most of it's pretty static. But this is where we are. This was the board we used yesterday. You can tell some interesting drawings going on here. And there is a draw over there. GT's an angel, apparently. But that screen right there, and this is the cool part. People that are outside of VR that just use a computer with a webcam can actually join through Workrooms 2. They can actually connect to that, and their screen comes in here, and you can connect, 32 people through that, I think? I think you can have 16 people inside of this room in VR, and up to 32 other people, I think it is, out there using video conferencing, and they'll show up on the screen, and I'll show you that on the screen right now. Right now you're seeing Tyrael on the screen chatting with us. He hopped out of VR and went onto his webcam, so it was pretty cool. So the rest of this environment is really just about productivity, or about chatting if you want. One of the coolest things, watch this, the chair actually moves. I don't know, that's silly, but it's just really cool. And there's some different things. Let me show you what we're going on here. You got the meeting. I'm going to show you let's change seats. So you can change seats to wherever you want, by the way. You can kind of move around if you want to be at the head of the table. Well, there's not really any head of this table, but you can move around the desk and stuff, and you have different things. Now, you can reduce the table to fit the group. There is no room to shrink this table. For whatever reason, I'm not sure how many people you can actually put into a room and then have it shrink. I'm not sure what it works like, but you can go to conversation, you can change the layout, and this will allow you to change the style of the table. So now it's more conversational. This is the default kind of meeting. This is for casual discussions, and then you have presentations if you want. Oops, there we go, change layout. And it'll change to a presentation layout where people are sitting side by side, and you've got the whiteboard. This actually works best for what I want to show you now, because let's go to desk whiteboard. I'm going to need a controller for this. There's this. You can actually move around the whiteboard, and you can use your controller to actually draw. Let me grab my controller over here really quick. So what you do when you actually use this is you actually hold it like a pen, and it's kind of cool. You tap that, and it's going to have us, and normally if you've got a desk here,
it actually will hit up against the desk, which is pretty cool because you'll hit it against the desk and run it across it. It'll feel like you're actually drawing on something. But see, you can actually draw here, and it'll draw on the whiteboard. So if you've got somebody doing a presentation and you want to say, oh, hey, let's take a look at this, or maybe you want to look at this, it actually works really well. The cool thing, though, I mean, you can change colors and stuff. So B, M, that's a bad M, F. The best part about this, though, and you can erase anything. You can add images to it. You can hit erase and erase stuff if you want to erase stuff. But the best part about this, I think, is being able to actually go stand at the board. So you're going to go to whiteboard. Now, I know I am turned back to the camera right now, but what happens is it actually has you turn around for your whiteboard. So you'll have your desk space behind you, and then it'll say, all right, position it, and you can't see that because it's pass-through mode. But if you position your whiteboard directly behind you or to the side of you, it'll allow you to go to a space that is different than your desk. Same idea here. If you hold the pen like this, you can draw on the whiteboard, and it works pretty well. GT is an angel. Let's see here. Let's erase angel here. GT is the best VR streamer. There we go. Little dot there. There we go. GT is the best VR streamer. Nice little surprise if he pops in. He is part of this room. Let's go ahead and go back to the desk. But that shows you what the whiteboard can do. And there's some drawings over there. I can't draw worth a crap. So this is going to have me turn around now. My hope for all of this is that they can allow us to change the outside exterior, allow us to change the interior of this so that we can actually, either customize it or just have different environments we can check out. I know someone on Twitter mentioned that they wished that, or that they don't understand why it's an Earth environment when it could be anything. It could be on the moon, which is a valid point, although this is probably being used mostly for real business use. That's what they're pushing it for, so they're going to do something professional. But I'm hoping that they do allow us to just be transported to different places. It wouldn't be hard. It's just a static image for the most part. And hopefully we can update inside of here. And yeah, I mean, it would be awesome too if businesses could customize the interior here with their branding. So, you've got a big business like maybe Coke or something has their Coke branding over there with Coke bottles and stuff. If they could integrate stuff like that, that'd be pretty cool because that would even encourage, I think, more people to jump in just because it feels like you're actually in an actual office for that specific company. But that is the Workrooms from Horizon.
So there you go. We've talked about the new pass-through AR function on the Quest, as well as the new Workrooms experience, which I think both are just great additions to the platform and really could make a huge game-changing addition as time goes on. What do you think about these updates? What do you think about AR? What would you want to see as an AR experience, either in this iteration or in a future better HD camera version? Or what about Horizon Workrooms? What are you going to do in that? And would you play in a experience that is more of a room that actually allows you to have a home, a living room with some cards and board games? I'd love to see that. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Plus, you can get the most out of your Quest and your Quest 2 by hitting that subscribe button down there and the bell icon for notifications. And you can check out even more of my videos right over there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy questing.